Hey there, everyone. I'm Chef Julia Thrash, the Vice President of Culinary here at Universal Studios Hollywood. And today we're showcasing all of the food and beverage offerings that you are going to find at Universal Fan Fest nights. We are very excited to really kind of showcase that immersive experience and would love to kind of give you kind of some backstory on some of the really cool things you'll find out there. So first up is actually going to be our Star Trek. We are actually going to be having two activations you'll find in the park. One is going to be Cork's Cafe, and the other one is going to be our 10 Forward Bar. At Cork's Cafe, you're actually going to find some really cool things. The first one I'd love to showcase is going to be the Klingon Targ legs. So the Targ is actually a mammal that is you can find on the Klingon planet, and it is a mammal and a livestock. So we are actually kind of creating that in, and it's going to be with a honey sauce, and it's going to have a kimchi fried rice. The other one is going to be our Vulcan fritters. Vulcans, they're actually vegetarian by choice. So this is our plant-based offering. These are going to be some mushroom fritters. It's going to have a hummus, and then it's going to have a red spice to create that Vulcan logo. Red spice is also native to the Vulcan planet, but in this case, it's going to be actually smoked paprika. Our next offering is actually going to be the Ceti eel margarita. So the Ceti eel is actually native to the Ceti Alpha 5. When Ceti Alpha 5 actually collided with Ceti Alpha 6, it actually made that planet desolate, and this is the only creature that actually survived. And the Ceti eel is actually this little burrowing creature, and it actually can burrow into your ear, and it can actually take over your body. In this case, we have created that margarita. It is a vodka-based margarita. And if you actually look really close to the side, it's actually going to be a fire dust. And this is made from a buzz button flower, and it's really meant to create a numbing sensation, and it'll actually kind of enhance some of the flavors as you drink the drink. Very cool. And of course, if you look super close, that little Ceti eel is right on top of that as well. And then one of the desserts is going to be the Tribble Truffle Trios. This is actually themed directly to Trouble with Tribbles episode from one of the original series. And if you actually remember Tribbles, all they do is eat and breed. So this is why we actually made this into a very decadent dessert. And it's actually purposely going to be served in a gray cup, because in the series, actually Captain Kirk is actually taking things back to the mess hall, and he is actually has this little coffee cup. It is a gray cup, and one of those Tribbles falls right into his cup as he's taking back there. One of our next IPs is going to be Back to the Future. So this is actually going to be available as an overlay in our Mel's Diner. There's going to be a couple sandwiches there, and then we're actually going to have a cart that's actually on the lower lot during that whole experience down there. And the things that we're going to kind of showcase here, the first one is going to be the Out of Time cookie. This is actually supposed to be truly themed to the tire tracks that the DeLorean makes when it is actually hits that 88 miles per hour. This is going to be a chocolate cookie. It's going to have Whopper pieces, and then it actually, if you look closely at the little license plate that has the Out of Time, and then it has the Back to the Future logo stamped right on top as well. And then one of my favorite things here, which is going to be at the Mel's Diner, is going to be Doc's Brown Chicken Pot Pie. So this is actually going to have the dusting of the emblem on top, and it's actually supposed to be the radioactive symbol that's on the back of Doc's jumpsuit as he's trying to get the DeLorean to work during those films as well. One of our next IPs is going to be Dungeons and Dragons. We are super excited for this. Most of the food and beverage for this is going to be actually up in the Jurassic Cove area. So there's going to be a bar that is up there, and everything is either themed to a spell or something directly out of the game. So the first one is actually going to be the Fireball. So this is going to be a chocolate dessert. On the inside, it's actually going to be strawberry and tahini, and then it's going to have Pop Rocks on top. So that way, as you're eating it, you're going to start to get a increasing of spicy, and then at the end, the Pop Rocks. So it's actually going to be popping fire in your mouth. And then the Beholder's Brew Fondue. So this is going to be a tavern loaf, and then it's going to be a Gouda Bakes fondue. It actually goes deliciously with the Hunter's Mark. The Hunter's Mark is actually themed to the Hunter's Mark spell, where the caster can actually cast onto a creature and then do additional damage. And then the Traveler's Rations in Dungeons and Dragons, you actually start out with Traveler's Rations, so you don't have anything, you don't know the spells just yet. So this is kind of tying in. You've just started out, and this is where the Traveler's Ration comes in here. Next up is going to be One Piece. My favorite things here is going to be Frankie's Cola Barbacoa. So Frankie is this cyborg. He's actually fueled by cola. So we are braising our barbacoa with cola, and his star is symbols. So on the inside of his arms, he actually has those stars. So we're kind of tying in everything to represent Frankie. Our favorite dessert here is actually going to be Chopper's Cupcake. It is themed to Tony Chopper. Chopper's favorite dessert is cotton candy. So in this case, it is the vanilla sponge cupcake, and then it is going to have cotton candy pieces on the inside, and then it's going to have a cotton candy frosting. And then we created his antlers out of little chocolate cookies. The other favorite thing here is also going to be the devil fruit concha. So this is representing one of the devil fruits. And then on the inside of this is going to be a pineapple and ginger filling. And then we're going to move on to Jujutsu Kaisen. We have two favorites here. First is going to be Yuji's chocolate brownie. So Yuji is one of the protagonists here. And we have actually themed this brownie to look like his school uniform. So the actual buttercream on top is representing his pink hair, and then the layered is going to be the school uniform, and that little emblem is actually the emblem that is on his uniform as well. And then we have the 10 Shadows churros, and these are going to be both themed to the divine dogs. So they're going to be a chocolate and a vanilla churro. Both of them come as part of one order for this one. And then last but not least, we have the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. So there's actually going to be two things here. We're going to have some things available at our Magic Meat carts, and then there's going to be an overlay at Three Brooms. What's going to be happening at Three Brooms is going to be a little different than normal. So this is going to be a prefix menu offering. So basically, as a guest, you come in and you will have a choice of an appetizer, appetizer, an entree, and a dessert. And the whole theme is as you kind of go through it. So the appetizer, you're going to be starting out and you'll be able to be sorted into your house. And that's actually going to be with the Hogwarts Cornish pasties. These are a vegan offering. So inside is going to be peas, carrots, and potatoes. And then the chutneys are going to be different colors and different flavors to represent each of the houses. So you get to choose one of those. And then you'll be able to choose your entree, which is going to be your start of term feast. So we do have a fish and chips. There is going to be a curry chicken that is going to be new. We have the Sunday roast. And then my favorite thing on the menu is actually our plant-based offering, which is going to be the toad in the hole, which is a play off of a traditional British offering. And then to round out your meal, you'll have two options. You can either win the house cup with our house cup trifle, or you'll be able to become the seeker and actually have the golden snitch dessert. And then at our cart, we're actually going to be doing the house churros. So there's going to be two different churros that are dueling each day. And then we'll also be having the Hogwarts meat pie out there as well. Out of everything, I think one of my favorite fandoms is actually Star Trek. I am a Trekkie at heart, so I know that is a little biased, but we really kind of dove in and we were able to kind of bring those stories to life with everything from the series and really being able to tie in new Trekkies and then those core Trekkies as well. And then my favorite food that you're actually going to find out here is actually going to be the Klingon targ legs. It is a very big balance of it's sweet, a little bit of spicy, and then you're actually going to get that little sour notes from the kimchi, very balanced, and then it has a great story behind it as well.